Some relationships don't break you all at once. They wear you down slowly until you can't recognize yourself anymore. But a Stoic knows this truth. What you tolerate becomes what controls you. And today, we take back that control. Let's begin with the first lesson, the power of seeing a toxic bond for what it truly is. A toxic relationship rarely begins as toxic. It often starts with intensity, attention, validation, excitement, the illusion of something meaningful. But slowly, the dynamic shifts. Your boundaries get tested, your energy gets drained, and your peace becomes something you have to earn instead of something you naturally feel. The Stoics warn us about this pattern. Epictetus taught that the first step toward freedom is seeing things as they truly are, not as you wish them to be. A toxic bond thrives on confusion, mixed signals, and emotional fog. Stoicism cuts through that fog with honesty. Ask yourself, does this relationship expand your character or shrink it? Does it strengthen your discipline, your clarity, your self-worth? Or does it make you doubt who you are? A Stoic doesn't wait for chaos to force clarity. He chooses clarity early. He names the harm. And once he sees it, he can no longer pretend it's something noble, romantic, or worth sacrificing himself for. Because the truth is simple. Anything that demands you abandon your dignity is not love. It's dependence dressed as affection. And once you see the pattern clearly, you're ready for the next step. A step the Stoics considered essential for reclaiming your inner strength. Let's move into Chapter 2, where we learn how to detach with calm authority instead of emotional chaos. When a relationship becomes toxic, most people try to escape with panic, anger, or emotional outbursts. But a Stoic knows you must detach on the inside long before you make any move on the outside. Emotional detachment doesn't mean coldness. It means clarity. It means stepping back from the storm so you can see the weather, not drown in it. Marcus Aurelius practiced this by observing his emotions without letting them control his next action. He understood that a mind ruled by desperation will always choose the path of weakness. A mind rooted in dignity chooses the path of strength. So take a breath. Create inner distance. Stop reacting to their mood swings, their manipulation, their guilt trips. When they push, do not push back. When they try to provoke, do not feed the fire. Your calm is not surrender. Your calm is the beginning of your freedom, because once your emotions settle, you stop being controlled. You stop being predictable. You stop being easy to manipulate. And from that place of calm distance, you're finally able to evaluate the relationship with a clear mind. And that clarity opens the door to the next lesson, one that determines whether you reclaim your self-worth or continue the cycle. Let's move into Chapter 3, where we learn how to set boundaries that cannot be bent, broken, or negotiated away. A toxic relationship survives on one thing: your willingness to tolerate what destroys you. Every time you stay silent when you should speak. Every time you give another chance when nothing has changed. Every time you shrink yourself to avoid conflict. You're teaching the other person exactly how to treat you. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Your peace is sacred, your dignity is non-negotiable, and your boundaries are not walls. They're guardrails that protect the best parts of you. A boundary is simple. It's a line that says, this is acceptable, this is not, and if you cross it, I will act. No threats, no emotional explosions, no long explanations, just calm, firm, consistent action. Because toxic people don't respect words, they respect consequences. And once you implement boundaries with quiet strength, something powerful happens. You stop being the version of yourself that tolerates emotional chaos. You become the version that demands respect by the way you carry yourself. And that transformation leads to the next step, a step that often surprises people, because once you set real boundaries, something else begins to change deep within you. Let's move into Chapter 4, where we explore how reclaiming your self-respect shifts the entire dynamic long before you ever leave. Toxic relationships drain you because they pull your identity outward. Your mood depends on their approval. Your peace depends on their behavior. Your worth depends on how they feel about you today. That's why everything feels unstable. You handed your inner world to someone who doesn't know how to handle their own. Stoicism offers the antidote: detachment, not from love, but from the illusion that someone else can define your value. Detachment is not coldness. It's clarity. It's standing in the storm without becoming the storm. It's choosing to respond instead of react. It's remembering that your self-respect is built from your actions, not their validation. When you detach, you stop chasing their approval. You stop defending yourself against their distorted narratives. You stop trying to fix someone who doesn't want to change. And slowly, the dynamic shifts. The person who once controlled your emotions no longer has that power. Their manipulation hits a wall. Their chaos grows quiet. Their anger loses its grip because you're no longer the person they could easily destabilize. But this clarity leads to a difficult point, one every Stoic must eventually face. A moment where you must decide between preserving the relationship or preserving yourself. Let's move into Chapter 5. Where we explore the most courageous step of all. Once you reclaim your self-respect, something becomes painfully clear. Some relationships can be repaired, but toxic ones cannot be rescued by one person. And this is where most people break. They know the situation is destroying them. They know they're becoming a version of themselves they don't even recognize. Yet they stay, out of fear, guilt, hope, or loneliness. But the Stoics were brutally honest about this. You cannot live wisely while staying in a place that constantly pulls you away from virtue. If a relationship demands you abandon your integrity, if it requires you to shrink your voice, if it forces you to apologize for things you didn't do, if it drains your peace faster than it builds your strength, then walking away isn't failure, it's self-preservation, it's dignity. It's the highest form of courage, because leaving a toxic relationship doesn't mean you stopped caring. It means you finally started caring about yourself. And here's what usually happens next. The moment you stop begging to be treated right, the moment you stop accepting bare minimum behavior, the moment you stand up and say, enough, everything changes. Not because walking away fixes them, but because walking away frees you. It frees your mind. It frees your energy. It frees your future. And that freedom becomes the foundation for healing. Which brings us to the final part: how to rebuild your inner world after the damage has been done. Let's move into Chapter 6. When you finally walk away from a toxic relationship, the outside world becomes quiet. But inside, a storm often remains. Your mind replays moments you wish you handled differently. Your heart questions whether you made the right choice. Your ego wonders if you were ever enough. And your loneliness tries to drag you back into the very chaos you escaped. This is where the real battle begins. The Stoics taught that healing isn't about forgetting the past. It's about rebuilding the self that was weakened by it. So the first step is this: stop trying to understand a person who thrives on confusion. Stop trying to seek closure from someone who can't even be honest with themselves. Closure isn't something they give you. Closure is a decision you make. Next, reclaim your energy. Every toxic relationship drains your mind through constant guessing, explaining, defending. So you restore yourself through the opposite, through stillness, through solitude, through returning to your own values. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And this is where your power comes back. You rebuild by keeping small promises to yourself. You rebuild by surrounding your life with order, discipline, and clarity. You rebuild by reconnecting with the version of you that existed before the damage and strengthening the version that will exist after the healing. You rebuild by choosing peace over chaos, standards over desperation, and dignity over old wounds. And soon, something remarkable happens. The person you once begged for validation now becomes irrelevant to your sense of worth. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally realized your value was never in their hands. And that realization leads us into the final message, the truth about how Stoicism turns your pain into strength. Let's close with the outro. When you walk away from toxicity, you don't just leave a person behind, you leave behind the weaker version of yourself that allowed that chaos to exist. And every step you take forward, every moment of clarity, every boundary you reinforce becomes a quiet declaration of your worth. Remember this, healing is not about proving anything to them. It's about proving to yourself that you deserve peace, strength, and dignity. So if this message spoke to you, give this video a like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to guide your journey. Your life belongs to you again. Walk forward with a calmer mind and a stronger soul.